Buenos Dias Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a motherfucking ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye-ya. Bye-ya. Orale, as you can tell by that thumbnail right there, Pinche Poetik Flakko, right? Uh-huh. Yes, indeedy. I'm about to write graffiti on the bus. And in Benito style in direct fashion, we're going to get straight into it because we must. Hey, retaliation is a must. Where I'm from, red rum in your body numb, blasted the dumb. Retaliation is a must where we're from, right? Now, trip out, Poetik Flakko. I happened to be scrolling through my feed on YouTube this morning, and I happened to come across a No Jumper episode last night that they hosted. And you know what? I thought it was peculiar. I thought it was pretty funny how they was G-checking Poetik Flakko like a motherfucker, right? It seems like A.D. Steele, his uncle, had some choice words for Poetik Flakko. You know what? And for that, I commend you, my brother. I totally agree. I totally agree, man. I would feel the same way if my sobrino, if my nephew was caught up in a situation that didn't really have anything to do with them. You know, when all this shit went down with American Cholo, and this post was made about him, this fucking cut and paste, this motherfucking chopped and screwed, this motherfucking take what you want and use what you got, right, was dropped. Poetik Flakko's name was all over it, right? He was the one utilized to drop this post. Now, I'm listening to a little snippet, man. I'm listening to him go back and forth with Adam talking about, that's all, folks, right? He was on this Porky the Pig shit, man. I haven't heard more stuttering since that last fucking chick I got on my morn from that was going right? That's what it sounded like, right? Sounded like he was giving man moans all over the place. This Vato was not saying it with his chest, okay? On power rule, he wasn't. Okay? He was trying to backtrack and backstep and point the finger in the direction of Adam and everybody else that was on that podcast. He was saying, well, we agreed that the post was newsworthy and we agreed that the post was this. And Adam, you agreed. And you know what was funny was Adam kind of stood in the background looking down at his phone, talking about, brother, brother, that's on you, right? That's your smoke. He wasn't saying that, but you could see his body language. You could see what he was saying, basically like, no, hold on now, brother, right? That is on you, Poetik Flakko. Because see, once you sign that dotted line, Holmes, once your name goes behind a post, that's on you, Wesley. Spence on, Holmes. Spence on la tira. So anyways, this guy was over there stuttering and proceeds to get G-checked by AD's uncle. Now, I say that to say this. Man, that was some checking if I ain't ever heard none, right? AD held it down. When American Cholo felt how he felt about the situation, about the post, and about the slandering of his character, he pulled up. Okay, there's a big debate on why he and how he pulled up, and if he pulled up with too much participants, too many camaradas, too many people. His team that was backing his play was pretty extensive and pretty deep. And some people are saying, you know, that was a show of force and just a little too much and a little too aggressive. And some are saying, hey, Holmes, that wasn't even enough. You know, Simon, cabron, boom, palo, show up like that. I'm one of the B-side, meaning I'm saying, hey, you know, he showed up how he showed up, and that's what it is, man. It's not the man that I'm backing up, but it's the aggression and the way he did it. Because, you know, at the end of the day, man, it's time for a show of unity. It's time for a show of solidarity. It's time for a show of force. That's just my feelings. Nobody's opinion is wrong in this matter. Everybody is right and everybody is wrong depending on how you feel. Okay, now Trip, and this is real talk. Whatever Poetik Flakko did with that post, whether he was the one solely behind it or if it was a collaborated effort with No Jumpers podcast to drop this on Gil, the fact of the matter is it was dropped, Thomas. It defecated on a man's character. It basically shined a bad light on a man, and not necessarily just what was going on with Gil. Okay? That's one man. That's one grown man that I'm sure can handle his business just like anybody else. At least I think so, right? But one never knows, does one? But what I will say is history has shown that Gil will pull up and at least have a conversation. That we know, right? But it was bigger than that. And people like AD's uncle and people like even Adam and AD himself see the bigger picture. I don't think Poetik Flakko does. I don't think Poetik Flakko, being not from the West Coast, understands the politics that go on in the streets and the prison system. Well, let me break it down for you, Poetik Flakko. before it gets broke down on you, right? And that's not a threatening thing. It's just facts. It's just reality, right? The fact remains that when you speak on the next man's business on the West Coast, homie, you know what I mean? Over here in California, we warn you, we'll bomb on you motherfuckers. We do our job. You think you mob, homie? We motherfucking mob. Pac said it. Fill him up with unleaded. He said it because it was actual and factual, homes. He didn't just speak to be spoke, right? He spoke to speak. Now, trip out. Poetik Flakko, I don't think he's gifted with the knowledge to know how the West Coast wiggles. I mean, everyone's watched Colors. Everybody's watched Boys in the Hood, homes. But has everybody seen American Me? You know what I mean? People get thrown off tiers around camps. Now, look at, before it escalates and turns into something that it isn't, all because behind one little post or one Tiger music video or whatever the case may be, because yes, it can go that route in California over the most minute things, over the smallest things. I see motherfucking wars start over shoes, humps. You think I'm lying? 50 years of history dictates that, right? That's just the way it is in California or on the West, right? Because we're going to give Washington, Oregon, and all that their shine as well. Real talk, on the West Coast, it's a little bit different, homes. The mannerisms, the gangsterism, the chicanismo, the black power, the brothers, the Crips, the Bloods, the Kumis, the Norteños, the Sureños, the Bulldogs, right, are all different on the West Coast, homes. This is where the foundation was set forth. This is where it gets real. I don't think Poetik Flakko understands that. I think the other brothers and even Adam does to a certain point. Now, this OG G-checked Poetik Flakko. He was letting Poetik Flakko know, well, hold on now, brother. Before you decide to drop posts, regardless of if Adam had something to do with it or everyone else had participation in it, because believe me, it's not just one person. You know, you don't drop something on a platform without running it by the boss. I'm pretty sure that's the way it works. I could be wrong, Spence on la tira, but for the most part, I think I'm right. Raza, I think that's the way it works, right? So before you drop something like that, that's going to be very detrimental to the safety and security of everyone around you. First and foremost, what you need to do is run that by, Adam, right? And when he's done getting his motherfucking groove with you, getting his porn on, I'm sure he'll have time to acknowledge you, right? And so if you say it with your chest, Flakko, then it's all going to get worked out. Now, trip out. The reason he was G-checked was for one reason and one reason only. Not because he put out a frivolous post, because I don't think the OG was really tripping off that. He was, but that wasn't his main goal at that point. His main goal was to G-check Poetik Flakko for putting his nephew AD in the mix once again. Not the first time. Maybe not even the second, right? But he was talking about a couple different instances where this guy has put his nephew in the hot seat. And you know what? I commend AD and respect him like a motherfucker. Everything I've ever seen, I've ever heard about AD is respectable, man. The man held it down. Him and Duno held it down, and they should be given a lot of respect. Adam, he was playing poker, you know what I mean? Or so help him God. He was getting his $1 million poker on. Poetik Flakko was hiding under his bed in his fucking apartment, his studio apartment, you know what I mean? His $1,400 studio apartment under his bed. He wanted no part of that smoke. When that motherfucker got on the phone, he was like, beep, 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 no, but Adam, right? He was getting his beep, beep, beep on. He wanted no smoke. And that's quite understandable. Who would? When 50 to 100 individuals pull up righteously, you know, regardless if it took that many or it didn't, the pull up was real, right? It seemed like Poetik Flakko was trying to point the finger at everyone else, and the OG G-checked him and said, nah, Holmes, you need to ride out on your own, Holmes. You need to stand on your own merits. Don't be dropping posts, Holmes, talking shit about the next man and then going hiding under the bed at your motherfucking apartment, Holmes. My motherfucking nephew was right there on frontline status, holding it down, Holmes, respectfully. And AD deserves all the respect for that. You know, anything could have happened. Voices could have escalated. Emotions could have ran wild. Run wild, like Hulk Hogan, right? Shit could have got way out of hand, and AD was right there in the mix. So I commend him for that. Now, at the same time, it wasn't one of those parties, Holmes. The Gil didn't pull up with these individuals, all these camaradas, to pose a threat to AD and Duno whatsoever. That was just a show of solidarity, like I said, and that was just a show, hey, man, you know, we're tired of being fucking ridiculed and oppressed, period. You know what I mean? If the brothers pulled up 50 deep, I wouldn't be mad at them. You know what I mean? It wasn't a black and brown thing at that point. A lot of people are trying to put the black and brown issue on it. That wasn't a black and brown thing. That was a motherfucking Gil and Adam, let me get at you type thing. That was a set it up so we can wet it up type thing. That was a must set it up so we can wet it up and never let it up type thing. That was a man-to-man conversation, Holmes, with several people around. But let me give you some backstory to why Gil took that much people with them. See, a lot of people, and I didn't even know this, man, but I got at a few people because I get, you know, I got the little connections, right? So I chopped it up with a couple people, and the reason why Gil felt he should have that much people around him, he should have that much camaradas that would rock with him, and his homeboys were willing and able to rock with him, was because what a lot of people doesn't know was he was getting some threatening phone calls. He was getting some threatening messages aimed at him and as well as his family. Now that's dirty in the game, Holmes. I've went through that. I've went through that on several occasions. So I understand his plight, man. And for that, I said, Gil, you know, Spence on La Tira, Holmes. It happens, brother. I'm sure it's not the first or the last time, but I know you know how to wiggle. And it's happened with myself. And when people threaten your family, well, that levels up. That takes it to a different level. Because now it ain't about you. See, you're a grown man. You can handle your motherfucking business. Poetic Flakko, I'm sure that post didn't really affect Gil like you thought it did, right? He can handle his business as a grown man. You know, a career, a job, a holiday, all that, Holmes, can be fucking, you know, fixed. But when it comes to threatenings of families, and I'm not saying Poetic Flakko is the guilty party on that. I would never put that on nobody, right? I'm just saying individuals that do that, Holmes, that pose a threat and are threatening people, that spooks familias. That gets people wanting to take it there, right? If you understand what I'm saying, in a menudo style, in a direct fashion. So I don't blame him pulling up with that much people because his awareness had to be up. He needed people to watch his back. Watch my back. And I know it doesn't take 40 or 50 homes, but some people, hey, fuck it, man. Let's go. You know what I mean? So I was scared, let's go. I've been in situations where I told my homeboy, posse, mount up. It was a cold black night, a clear bright moon. You know what I mean? I've been in my mix too. You know, and then I've been to the point where it's just me and one other homeboy because we about to get real. You know what I mean? And regardless of whatever it may be, and I see a lot of people going back and forth in the comments talking about, oh, this and that. There was cameras there, man. Wasn't no one trying to start no funk, man. It wasn't aggressive. It wasn't fucking people talking shit, Holmes. It was just a show of solidarity. And that's all it was, man. Stop trying to put too much on it and make it look like motherfuckers was going in there to Royal Rumble on somebody, because it was never that. If it would have went that route, I'm sure people would have rose to the occasion. But at the same time, they didn't go there to pose a threat to AD. AD's a good brother. They didn't go in there to beat up on Duno. Duno knows that if he has a regulation coming, he has one of those coming. And that's just what it was, man. It was just a show of solidarity and a show of, hey, the raza can come together too. Just like when the brothers go out there and protest, just like when the whites get together and they're on the corner talking about, we want Trump. Just like when everyone's doing their thing, Holmes, hey, the raza comes together and all of a sudden it's a fucking big deal. All of a sudden it's a problem. I don't see no problem in it, bro. You know, I don't see no problem in it. It becomes a problem when people become scared. It becomes a problem when people fucking become scared of the unknown. It becomes a problem when they see 10 or plus more bald heads. Now they want to start validating motherfuckers and calling people gang members. I don't know what part of the game that is, but that's the way I see it, man. Ain't nothing wrong with a whole bunch of fucking brothers, and ain't nothing wrong with a whole bunch of fucking brown men, homes, getting together, coming together, locking horns and heads, man, and letting stronger minds prevail. I think that's the righteous thing to do. I think the sit down was accomplished. I think Adam was MIA. I think motherfucking Poetic Flakko was hiding up under the rack, right? Plain and simple. And how do I know this? Because his own homeboy, his own brother, G-checked him. Now, Poetic Flakko, let me get at you one time. Can I give you some knowledge you can't get in college? And I know it's hard to give you that because you don't like to grasp it. You're one of those guys you think you know it all, Holmes, but do you? One never knows, does one, right? I know this, I don't. But what I do know, bro, is before you speak on West Coast politics and before you involve yourself in a mix with certain individuals because you think you know, you need to really do your research, Holmes, and your due diligence, because let me tell you, you need to remind your own or your own will remind you. Okay? Over here, man, on the West Coast is different, bro, than anything you've ever experienced. Okay? The streets don't dictate the program. The penitentiary does. Prison. Okay? Prison gang members dictate the streets, bro. Allegedly. It's always been like that. It's always going to be like that, bro. You know? Hey, you might think you run out there, but we run in there, right? Motherfuckers run prison. Okay? And you have to answer. Okay? If you ever get caught up one of these times, I mean, you slide through LA County Jail, guess what? You must answer. And it's not going to be the adversary or the opposition or the other ethnicity or the other group that comes at you. It's going to be your own people. Because things are bigger than you. Things that are going on in prison that can't be spoken on, that are going on every day, Holmes, are bigger than one man. But one man can fuck everything up. Let me tell you a quick story, right? I've been on yards where it was going on. Meaning the program was exactly the way everybody wanted to be. Norteños were doing their thing. Southsiders were doing their thing. Oh my, right? You had the brothers, they was wiggling over there. You had the white boys, they was on the curl bars like, I'm not a bully, right? Everybody was living, Holmes, and it was going down on that yard. That meaning things were, it was lovely. Let's just put it like that. It was comfortable for everybody. The program was set. Now, one individual decided that if for no other reason, he should get off on another individual over a debt. Okay? Because he couldn't handle his pill consumption. And you know what that did? That set up a domino effect to tear that whole yard up. Everybody on that yard went off. Why? Because now you're fucking with other men's pockets. You're fucking with other men's livelihoods. You're fucking with other men's agendas, other men's programs, other men's visitas, other men's families, bro. When you do that, Holmes, it gets dangerous, and it gets dangerous real fast. And in a situation like this, when it comes to American Cholo and defecating on his character, shitting on his character, well, that's pretty much the same thing. See, you're fucking up that man's program. Now, I'm not saying that man is some hardcore gang member, Holmes. Quite contrary. That man has admitted on several occasions that he is not with that program. But it doesn't mean he doesn't have a neighborhood that he didn't grow up in. It doesn't have respect from his camaradas and his homeboys. That is forever. A lot of that, Holmes, until you burn that bridge, Holmes, you got that coming. So it ain't nothing but you can call on Pedro, right? It ain't nothing but calling on Jaime, Pedro, Pepe, Sleepy, Smokey, Casper, y todo más, right? And no, and all the homeboys, right? You can call on whoever, and they'll show up and show out allegedly for him because they respect him. Okay, that's when the situation gets dirty. Because I'm sure on the other side, man, people that feel that it's directed at them or they feel that potential threat, now they rise up to the occasion. And next thing you know, Holmes, it spills onto the streets and other people are involved and people with platforms are pushing it. And now you done caused chaos all because you thought it was funny to drop a post. Now I heard Adam, don't think you're getting away, right? I seen Adam and I heard him in the background, man, with the little phone when Poetik Flakko said, well, I thought it was newsworthy, Adam. You thought it was newsworthy. Yeah, I thought it was pretty much newsworthy. What the fuck is newsworthy about American Cholo in the past maybe saying some things, Holmes, that were a little derogatory, right? Again, chopped and screwed. Whether those are his feelings or not, Holmes, what goes on behind closed doors is that man's business. And I'm sure, man, you can sit down and have a conversation about it. Just like Adam, we know a lot of things that you said behind the scenes, man, aren't so becoming themselves, right? I think everybody has a little skeleton in their closet. So okay? I know, right? But I'm just saying, though, this is how it goes down. So before you decide what is and what isn't newsworthy, Holmes, I think you should really check back and double back one time for your mentality, bro, and see what's really going on. Anyways, that's just me. That's neither here nor there, Holmes. I'm just voicing my opinion. Anyways, I just thought it was funny that Poetik Flakko got G-checked right there on No Jumper. Make sure you guys go to No Jumper, tap in and check it out. It was only 12 hours ago. He got G-checked, right? By AD's uncle. And AD's uncle said, next time you pull up, Holmes, I'll be here. Get at me one time for your mind. Because I think that OG knows, and a lot of OGs do that have been around the block in the 6'4", Holmes. They understand the route it could have went and what could have and should have and what would have happened, right? Maybe it didn't this time, Holmes, but there are other times and other situations. Black and brown, bro, are two entities you don't fool with. You don't fuck with. Now, of course, in this situation, it was never a black and brown thing, man, when it's said and done. People have put that label on it. It wasn't. It was more of an Adam Cholo thing or a Poetik Flakko, and I guess you can't call it a black and brown thing. I guess at the end of the day, Poetik Flakko is black. But I don't think it was that route. I think it was a baboso and a fucking grown man thing. Whatever the case may be, man, it's out there now. It has happened. I voiced my opinion on it, and that's how I feel. Poetik Flakko, man, get it together, baby. Get it together, right? Because, like I said, your own's about to remind you. With that being said, man, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about struggling and striving for your familia and for those around you. The real gente that really got your back, host. Back them up, and say, back them up. right? And that's just what it be like, man. If you like this, please hit that like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Come fuck with your boy one time for your mind. We're over here. We push black and brown unity. We're over here, homes. We talk about facts. We're over here, homes. We don't defecate on a man's character unless we need to say it with our chest. On power rule. You already know what it is, Whack 100. No love lost right there. And it is what it is, man. If you don't like me, you can hit that thumbs down. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what I truly believe in. And that's the betterment of all people and the coming together of all raza, as well as my brothers, man. Sprinkling the woods, man, because they in the hoods, man. And you know what it is. This is the gun. Bang, bang. But what if, Flakko? You better not go to work. They on your ass.